The next name you hear will be the winner of the 2006 Mr. Olympia.
I remember Chris Estito saying, Jay, you're going to beat this guy. Man, I thought I was going to stand next to Ronnie Coleman and challenge him.
This is my town, my home, my place.
Come on, Jay! Hey, come on, Jay!
Jay Cutler! And from that forward, I was like, hey, I have something.
Jay Cutler!
And we're speaking backstage here with Jay Cutler.
If I wasn't chasing Ronnie Coleman, I never would have pushed this.
Jay Cutler!
Everyone loves an underdog story. We connect with them, see pieces of ourselves in their struggles, and feel their pain and triumph. In bodybuilding, underdog tales rarely end with the happy conclusion we wish for. Except one. Despite turning pro quickly, success didn't come easy for Jay Cutler. Before becoming a fourth-time Mr. Olympia, Jay spent years chasing the top bodybuilder in the world. Only to fall short time after time, year after year. He came painfully close, only to see the title slip through his fingers. But in true underdog fashion, Jay finally toppled the reigning champion, achieving what many thought was impossible. Yet just 2 years later, he experienced the most heartbreaking moment of his career, losing the title he fought so hard to claim. Jay set out to do what no champion had ever done before. Stage the biggest comeback in bodybuilding history. This is the rise, fall, and ultimate redemption of the comeback king. In a small town called Sterling, a future bodybuilding legend was born on August 3, 1973. Jason Isaac Cutler, or simply Jay Cutler.
My parents were separated when I was really young, and my brothers used to drag me to work doing the concrete when I was 11. Like I would work after school vacations, weekends, anytime I had free time, sometimes before school, we worked around the clock. And that's really what kind of started the early days of the mentality of like having that commitment to something. And then of course, the ruggedness of doing concrete, carrying concrete forms. I developed a crazy physique into my teenage years. I was 11, 12, 13. I was always like the most muscular kid.
Jay Cutler grew up as the youngest of 7 children. His early life wasn't particularly glamorous. Jay worked long hours on his family's farm and later in construction, laying the foundation for his incredible work ethic. Those early days of hauling materials and laboring under the sun would prepare him for a career that demanded strength, discipline, and grit.
Watched that all through high school. I was a football player. Had an interest in bodybuilding. One of my friends when I was 15 took me to Gold's Gym and we worked out. He was super into bodybuilding. And I think that I kind of was like, wow, it's amazing what you can do getting under these weights. And I made a commitment that when I graduated high school, which I won, I was going to join the gym and start my journey towards lifting weights and developing a better body.
Jay's journey into bodybuilding began at the age of 18 when he attended high school. A naturally athletic kid, it was during this time that he set foot in a gym for the first time.
But I was also a beast. I was bench 315 in high school, like without even really lifting weights.
When Jay enrolled at college to study, he started training more seriously. His original goal wasn't to become Mr. Olympia, but as his body transformed and his strength grew, so did his passion for the sport.
And from that forward, I was like, hey, I have something.
And we're speaking backstage here with teen competitor in the heavyweight division, Jay Cutler.
Jay entered his first competition at 19 years old, where he won first place in the teenage heavyweight division. This victory sparked something in him, a belief that he could take his passion to the next level. Over the next few years, Jay decided himself to perfecting his craft. His rigorous training schedule, precise diet, and relentless drive began to shape him into a formidable competitor. By 1996, he had earned his IFBB Pro card after winning the NPC National Championships at the age of 23. Now the world of professional bodybuilding was within his grasp. Jay entered the world of professional bodybuilding during an era ruled by Dorian Yates, a 6-time Mr. Olympia champion who dominated the sport from 1992 to 1997. When Dorian retired after his final victory in 1997, the stage was set for a new star to rise. Many expected Flex Wheeler to take the spotlight. But the unexpected happened. Ronnie Coleman stunned the world by claiming the Mr. Olympia title in 1998. That same year, Jay made his professional debut at the IFBB Night of Champions, finishing 12th while Ronnie went on to win the event. The gap between them was undeniable, but Jay wasn't deterred. Over time, he transformed himself into more than just a challenger. He became a legitimate threat to the king's throne. Jay's rise in the IFBB wasn't immediate. In the late 90s, the bodybuilding world was dominated by icons like Ronnie Coleman. Jay quickly realized that to stand among the greats, he needs to push his body and mind beyond their limits.
1998 was that Night of Champions. I finished 11th. I said, I'm going to go back to training. I built a home gym. I built a crazy home gym. I spent like $100,000 on equipment, and I was training in my house. And I came back and I finished third at the Pro Ironman and fourth at Arnold Classic. Arnold Classic being the second biggest show.
Jay made his Mr. Olympia debut in 1999, the most prestigious bodybuilding competition in the world.
I was qualified for the Mr. Olympia, which was obviously huge then. I mean, I was one of those guys that like, man, if I could just get on Olympia stage.
The Olympia this year was to basically duplicate or better myself from the Arnold Classic Ironman earlier in the year, and I think I've done that.
First Olympia, you're walking on stage at 25. Tell me how that felt.
Man, I thought I was going to stand next to Ronnie Coleman and challenge him. I really did. And when I stood in the back and I got last call out, like it was only one call, and I was devastated. I mean, I went back to the hotel room at Mandalay Bay, and I remember Chris in the room and, you know, my ex-wife Carrie, and we were like, am I good enough?
Although he placed 14th, it was a valuable learning experience. Competing against legends like Ronnie Coleman and Flex Wheeler, Jay realized how much work it would take to reach the top. In 2001, Jay made his mark by placing second. He shocked the bodybuilding world by placing second behind Ronnie Coleman, the reigning champion. His performance showcased his incredible size, symmetry, and conditioning. Many believed Jay was the future of bodybuilding. Jay didn't let the defeats discourage him. Instead, he used them as well to train harder, smarter, and better.
I remember Chris Estito saying that after we finished that tour and I finished those second place, he said, Jay, you're going to beat this guy. He said, another year, you can beat Ronnie Coleman.
That moment sparked what would become the most iconic rivalry in the history of bodybuilding. From 2003 to 2005, Jay remained one of the top competitors in the sport. During this time, Jay solidified his reputation as one of the hardest working and most disciplined athletes in the bodybuilding. While most competitors would have been content with being a runner-up, Jay was not. He was determined to dethrone Ronnie Coleman.
Been here winning the show for the past, how many years, Ronnie? 6 years. But this is my town, my home, my place.
One last time, challenge round. Your secret weapon?
I just want to get this show on the road, man. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, who is it going to be? Ronnie Coleman! Ronnie Coleman! Mr. Olympia! For the 7th straight year!
In 2005, Jay wasn't the only one challenging Ronnie's reign. A new contender emerged, seemingly out of nowhere, determined to give both Ronnie and Jay a run for their money at that year's Olympia.
The man to my right is one of the fastest rising stars in bodybuilding, Gustavo Badell.
Jumping from 24th in 2002 to 3rd in 2004 Olympia. Nicknamed the freaking Rican, he came with a tight waist, sharp conditioning, and balanced proportions. In 2005, he won the Ironman Pro, excelled in side poses, and outshone mass monsters like Jay and Ronnie in aesthetics, proving he could stand among the best. However, as expected, the top two spots were reserved for the two titans of the sport. A more refined and broader Cutler had closed the gap, taking crucial points from the reigning champ, but it still wasn't enough to claim victory.
Award for second place goes to Jay Cutler!
Well, for the 8th time, we had to sit there and watch 300 pounds of Ronnie Coleman collapse in victory, and for the 4th time, Jay, you had to settle for second best.
I'm a loss of words right now. I don't have much to say because I don't agree with the decision. And I don't know, it's hard for me to swallow this one.
By 2006, Jay's 4 years as runner-up had been grueling, but they shaped his identity as someone we could all connect with. He was no longer just a genetic marvel or a phenomenon who could build muscle effortlessly. Now we saw him as an oversized everyman, someone who graciously accepted his second place at each Olympia. He worked tirelessly to conquer what seemed like an impossible challenge. The big question on everyone's mind this year was clear. Could Jay finally do it after finishing second 4 times? Or would rising star Victor Martinez, climbing quickly through the Olympia ranks, pull up the ultimate upset? Either way, history was about to be made. Ronnie could claim a record-breaking 9th win, surpassing Lee Haney, or the reign of the king would finally come to an end.
It's all about the body doing the talking. What's your body saying right now?
Well, I know one thing, I don't want to be bald. I said I want to shave my head bald if I lose this show.
You're going to get a chair on stage and literally shave your head?
No, Bob, because I'm winning this contest.
Jay was in the best shape of his life, combining incredible conditioning with impressive quality size. From the front, his overall thickness had improved noticeably, and his waist appeared leaner and tighter. From the back, he was sharper than Ronnie, showcasing superior definition and detail. With his balanced shape and unmatched conditioning, everything pointed to this being Jay's moment to shine.
There can be only one. All history will be made tonight. The next name you hear will be the winner of the 2006 Mr. Olympia. You can bring the Olympia gold medal, the Sandow statue, Jay Cutler!
He called me and said, congratulations, how you won. And he was my idol.
This victory was more than a title. It was a testament to Jay's perseverance. He had proven that with enough dedication and determination, even the toughest challenges could be overcome. But Jay wasn't done. He went on to win the Mr. Olympia title 3 more times in 2007, 2009 and 2010, placing his place as one of the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
Does winning or losing Saturday nights make any difference in what your future decision might be? Meaning, would you be more apt to hang him up if you lost or continue if you won?
I haven't thought about losing.
Jay's career wasn't without setbacks. Injuries began to take a toll on his body, including a torn biceps in 2011.
You were better than 2010 going into it. I really do. I think that I'm like, okay, this is kind of like going into that 2009 direction again, and then until the bicep tear and when you got hurt.
I was doing a photo shoot, and basically what I did a million times, I had dumbbells on my knees and I was kicking them up to do a shoulder press, and when I kicked them up, the bicep detached on the upper, and it didn't hurt, really. I just thought, it was like electric shock. And I just kept doing the photo shoot, and I kept training leading up, and it slowly started to get black and blue, and it was actually detached. And
despite these challenges, Jay continued to compete, driven by his love for bodybuilding and his fans. He placed second in 2011.
The next name you hear will be the 2011 Mr. Olympia. To our winner tonight, Phil Heath!
In 2013, Jay made one final appearance at the Mr. Olympia stage. Although he didn't win,
A lot of us are sitting here wondering if we just saw Jay Cutler compete for the final time. Did we?
I can't say that right now.
his return was a celebration of his incredible career and the impact he had on the sport.
Him, and I definitely, if I wasn't chasing Ronnie Coleman, I never would have pushed this hard. I mean, I changed up a lot of my workouts, and I used to watch his DVDs to try to get ideas on, okay, what can I do differently?
His story is a reminder that greatness doesn't come easy. It requires hard work, determination, and an unshakable belief in yourself.
There it is, one of the most iconic and influential and popular bodybuilding champions this sport has ever known. Jay Cutler, I'm Darren Solomon signing off.